Hello everybody and welcome back to Conan Exiles. In today's video I want to talk to you about a couple of things. We're going to go over a particular thrall, as they are called in this game, who is at this moment in time probably one of the most OP that you'll get, and also some of our regular tier 4 NPCs who have always been absolutely brilliant, and also asking the question, should these other named tier 4 people be retired, as we like to call it, and is this new follower actually viable to keep going forward? We'll jump into that in this video right now. So who are we talking about then with these particular NPCs or followers or thralls, whatever you want to call them? We are actually referring to the Cannibal Brute, which as you can see here is the male and the female, and the Cannibal Brute comes with a melee damage modifier, as you can see there, of 3.12, which is the highest at present damage modifier for melee damage in Conan Exiles as we know it. Now this could be deliberate, it could be intentional, or it could be an accident and it may get patched in the future. Reason why people are starting to wonder with this and also questioning whether this is correct or not is because although the Cannibal Brute is classed as the tier 4 fighter of the Defari faction, the Defaris are only the second highest tier tribe of NPCs in the game. Although they have the highest damage modifier, they are quite low. They're very easy to get, which is a great thing, and another plus side is they are very fast levelers, so they're very quick and easy to level up. And yes, some people like them, some people don't. Their health isn't great, because if we take a look at this young lady, she's just the same as the male as well, but as you see there, they are varying different versions of the percentage chances for level up. This one has it 100 in vitality, you could get that in agility, armor or strength as well, but as you can see they only start out with a very small 429 health, which is really low. And just show you with this guy as well, again he rolled with the 100% chance in strength, as you can see there, just to show the difference. 429 health at level 0, but as I say, they do have the highest damage modifier in the game of 3.12, which means with the right armour and the right weapon, they will hit like an absolute truck. So don't get me wrong, if you want a real good fighter beside you, these are definitely one of the people to go for. So because their health is so low, if we go back to this young lady again, I would personally recommend, ideally, like here, she has a 100% chance to gain a point in her vitality with a 95 in strength, which is good. So that would be the percentage to go for, because that's the higher percentage between that and agility. What you could try and do is, because she has the 100% chance to gain a point in vitality, you could focus more on Gruel, which will take the 14% on top of the 95, which takes it over 100, but that boosts that up as well, and level up strength. Or you could even just do that for your first 10 levels, or 10 to 15 levels, and then do your last 10, maybe 5 to 10 levels with vitality if you want to get that a bit higher. And the best thing to try and do early on, because they are such low health, stay around the lower areas of the map to level them up, as these enemies all have lower health and do lower damage, but also kit them up with some good armor, so some health boosting armor maybe, which you've got the Barachan Reaver, which is a full health heavy set, and you've also got the Sumerian Steel, which is another heavy vitality set, so that will give them plenty of vitality, just give them a little boost early on. Or you could just go straight into a strength set for them if you want to kind of mix and match it a bit, give them a bit of vitality and a bit of strength if you're focusing on that. Like for example with these two ladies here, twins that I have here, they're in my setup that I use on all of my followers, that I've always used on all of them. As you can see, these are both at level 20. This one ended up with a 57 strength bonus, and that is a mixture of levels that she gained, plus also the perks and armor that she's wearing. which if we take a look at that you can see is my normal setup, which is the Redeem Legion helmet, Void Force Dragon chest, Godbreaker grips, and we've recently just changed from Champions leggings, which were just as good but slightly less armour, to the Pictish Warchief, and then we were using the Hyperborean boots, but we're now using the Pictish Warchief boots, which give her a bit more armour, which can be helpful. These guys can level up pretty decent. As you can see, this one got a decent amount of health of 3,826 because of a couple of the perks that she rolled with. And then this is the other one. As you can see, again, similar perks, but she got more in her vitality. She got a huge level in her vitality, so took her over 5k. If you got lucky and got somebody who was naturally already at 5k, what you could do is use the single follower version of authority, so which is the well trained, so they get a plus 20 in everything. So even though her current melee damage is at 58, that'll go up another 20. And then if you also use a follower damage boosting armor yourself, so the Hykerinian Raider for a heavy set or the Skelos Cultist Master for a medium set, they'll also gain another few points of strength again from following you, so that's really helpful. Or if you're going to combine two, like here we've got this one at 5,000 and then this one is just under 4, so it's pretty decent. Could have re-rolled them again to get different perks, but felt this is pretty good for a war party build, and they're both just using Pictish Warchief for their appearance. And personally I would recommend giving them, if you can get a hold of this, Momentum, the one-handed mace. Really good mace, because as we can see there, has a health damage of 85 and armor pen of 27, so it's really useful. And if you are at level 60 and you can craft the master weapon fitting, you can add that to it. That will bump it up to 90 damage and 39 armor pen. And if you're running war party, give them both one. If you're running a solo follower, give them that as well. I've tried a few different weapons with these, but they are an absolute beast with momentum, because that is currently the highest level, hardest hitting mace in the game. That will pretty much work on any follower, but these guys are especially good with it. So the Cannibal Brute is certainly worth looking at. As I say, it could be a bug, it could be unintentional that they've done what they've done with the damage modifier. Bear in mind in chapter 3 this could change, or in a future update, or if it's correct it could stay the way it is, although different people have different opinions on this at the moment. But while they are so good, I would definitely say try and get yourself an army of Cannibal Brutes. Just don't put them up against Purges, because even with 3,000 or 4,000 health they're going to get killed really easy, especially during a level 8 Purge. I actually lost one yesterday that had just over 3,000 health, and that was obviously just to her health being so low. So do be careful when you're considering how you use them. So that is the Cannibal Brute. So just to move on a little bit, as I said, that is the Cannibal Brute, and at present a lot of people are comparing the Cannibal Brute to a better version of what was the sought after follower. There's this gentleman behind me, Beastmaster Timos, who you can see already has a lot higher health at level 0 and pretty decent leveling up chances, but he's not as good, people are saying, and his melee damage modifier is quite low. You can also usually look that up somewhere and you'll be able to kind of work out what that is if you want to find that. But he used to be the go-to thrall, but there are now other options. So the Cannibal Brute, as I say, and you also have another one called Thugra, who actually spawns not far from where we are at the moment. I'll show that at the end of the video when we look for the Cannibal Brute. We'll show you where the camp is where Thugra can spawn. He's another guaranteed tier 4 spawn, another fighter, a really good one again. Decent modifiers and decent health, and if you level him up he can be pretty good too. So that is the sort of thing that is out there at the moment, with how the T-Mos is now kind of not much good and people are favouring more the Cannibal Brute, the Thugra, and yes, your tier 4 people still. So all that in mind, the burning question that a lot of people will ask in the comments, or that people are asking, is because people are saying the Cannibal Brute hits so hard, which is even harder than Leon, who you can see here, and what I say, my total favourite Delincia Snow Hunter. People are asking, well, does this mean we don't need Delincia or a Sumerian Berserker or Leon or Janos or anybody like that anymore? Are they no good now? And in my personal opinion, absolutely not. If you still want Delincia, if she's still your favourite, if Leon's still your favourite, or Janos, or any of the other T4s that you like, or Freya, Dina Master Huntress, any of them, they are still perfectly viable, although their damage modifiers are slightly lower, obviously, than the Cannibal Brute at the 3.12. If you gear them up correctly with the right armour and the right weapon, they can still hit like an absolute truck just the same. I run 2 Delincias or a Delincia and a Berserker at times in a war party build normally. Give Delincia a mace, or if I run 2 Delincias, one will have a mace, one will have a two-handed weapon, and they still survive perfectly fine. As I say, with the right armour for defence, if you can build up their strength as much as you can. I know a lot of people will say they want to get a huge amount of armour on their follower because they want them to be able to survive. A way that I look at this, to be quite honest with, is that if my follower is going to hit like a truck, anything that's attacking them is going to be dead before it does them any serious damage. They have a decent amount of health, like 1500-1600 armour, which is more than enough, so if they can dish out the damage, then pretty much any of the content in the game is perfectly doable, war party or well trained. Because bear in mind, we're well trained, if you use, as I say, follower boosting armour, that will give them extra on top of the plus 20 that they'll already be getting, so they'll just hit like an absolute freight train and you'll have no worries whatsoever. So even though we've looked at these and we're asking the question, should they be retired, do I not bother with Leon or Delincia or the Sumerian Berserker anymore, I'll leave it to you. But in my personal opinion, no, these shouldn't be retired and forgotten about. If you still like them, by all means use them. But if you haven't tried out the Cannibal Brute yet, while you still can, while this is a thing, do try them out and see what you think. So before we wrap things up, I've showed this many times, but we'll go in again quickly just so you know, but just so you can see where I am here on the map. Down here at the summoning place, which is kind of in G5, not far from the sinkhole. You want to run in here. You'll have to fight all these people potentially first, or knock them all out. There are quite a few. They are quite low, so if you're decently equipped at higher level, you'll be perfectly fine. Now you can hang a left and then come up here. You can see there's a dancer. This can be Lubilla Luscious as well, she can spawn here. But if you look down here, as we can see, Cannibal Brute, so that is a spawn for them. Again, it can be male and female, but also another thing you can do if you come around this other side. Also just worth mentioning while we're in here, this spawn at the middle here can be a Yogg Priest, male or female, and it can also be the Witch Doctor, male and female again, who is your tier 4 alchemist, and they will spawn in this middle spot as well if they are there, but they do share that with the priest. Still got your sorcerers in here, but if we go up here, then there's also a chance, there we go, Cannibal Brute. So there are actually 2 spawned in here at the moment. This one stood here and the other one at the opposite side. And one thing that is so funny, if you notice, look how tall she is compared to me, and my character's at full height more or less. Don't understand why when you tame them they don't stay at this height, they actually shrink down, but yeah, you can see there. So one here and one at the opposite side. And then one final person to look for is the gentleman you can see stood to my left right here. He is a guaranteed spawn once again, and he will always spawn on this ledge here, looking across this cavern over the river, I suppose you would call it. And you can see the sinkhole just there to the right. So if I show you on the map, we're just here at Zilgra Stand, which is just by the sinkhole there. So you can see if I fly up a bit, the sinkhole is just there, and he always spawns on this ledge here. So if you're coming to try and tame or befriend Thugra, you can come into this camp from down here, work your way up, kill all of these if you want to kill these, kill all these, work your way through, and then change to your truncheon, or change your follower to their truncheon, or their friendship stick as we like to call it. And then because he stood right over here, if you're very very careful, because he's out of the way, you can pretty much take out all of that camp without him even knowing, and then come over here and knock him out. I would try and say get his aggro and bring him back here a little bit, because you do run the chance if you just run up and start smacking him here that he could fall off the ledge and end up down there, and then you'd have to jump down and try and get him from down there. So try and pull back a little bit from there. So there we have it then guys, just another quick one to highlight one of the OP tier 4 trolls, or followers as we like to call them, that are in the game at the moment, the Cannibal Brute. We've spoken about who they are, why they're so good, and where you can get them from, and also looked at some armor sets or way to gear them up and protect them, and also what to avoid with them. And we also had a quick look at who they are kind of replacing now, and also whether our T4 fighters like Leon, Janos, Delincia, Freya, whether any of those are any good again or not. They are still perfectly viable, but it's entirely up to you. Just give the Cannibal Brute a try, see what you think. Try them as a war party if you get two, or if not, stick with the well trained, so that they get a plus 20 and everything, which will give them a big boost to their health, even starting out at level 0. Put them in some decent armour, give them a decent weapon, or ideally momentum, and just watch them absolutely wreck shop. So if you did enjoy this guys, let me know in the comments down below. Interested to hear what you guys think about the Cannibal Brute, whether you like them or dislike them. Let me know things that they've done when you've had them running with you. Leave a like if you did enjoy it, also just helps the YouTube algorithm push us out to more people. Thank you so much to all our subscribers. Our community is growing from strength to strength day by day. We're on the road to 1,000 subs now. We've just gone over our 500. So thank you so much to everybody for joining. I very very much appreciate you all. Your support is absolutely amazing. Lots of exciting things to come in the future, including some possible new games. So why not subscribe if you haven't. And until I see you in the next video guys, it's bye bye for now.